What are your thoughts on the current situation in Tamil Nadu and how things are progressing?
Now, Tamil Nadu is a very peculiar state. To most people north of India's, Tamil Nadu seems at least a part of Malaysia or part of Indonesia, not part of India. In other words, most of the political leadership in this country fails to understand it is one of the most sensitive state, border state, where for the last couple of years there has been a jihadi activity on top of reported even Naxal movements, reported movements of various anti-nationals, exploiting the fault lines of the Dravidian movement of the late 50s, 60s. So it is a very complex state, and Jayalalitha was actually providing a sense of sanity in the whole proceeding, keeping things under control. From the way press reports and from the way we are getting along with various news, various rumors, discounting all the hyperventilation of various people, and based on hard-nosed facts and inputs from various political leaders who have visited her, one can reasonably surmise that all is not well with Madam Jayalalitha. She is sick and she is down. Now, what impact it will have on the state is a billion-dollar question. It is one of the manufacturing hubs of India. It has a huge contribution on the Make in India project of Narendra Modi ji. Now, last 2-3 years, it has not been on any economic recovery. It has been spiraling downwards. Law and order is a serious issue. So today when Paneerselvam, who is now been virtually elevated to as number 2, and Madam Jayalalitha's portfolio having been redistributed to Paneerselvam, is not good augury. It means that the state will be in state of flux. Paneerselvam is not known to take any big ticket decisions. He will keep the chair warm. He may perhaps take the day-to-day decisions, no doubt about it. He will be taking the decisions on a day-to-day basis. But Tamil Nadu on investment, on big-ticket investment, on controlling jihadi activities, on protecting various nationalist forces, on ensuring law and order, I don't think so he is capable. Having said that, you must also understand that the DMK did not perform too badly in the 2016 elections. They got around 90 odd seats and they are just 20 odd seats short of a majority. Karunanidhi is on record in an interview to a national daily that he doesn't see anything wrong in splitting the ADMK and taking the 20 odd seats that is required, 20 odd MLAs to form a government. So Karunanidhi can very well start fishing in troubled waters, and if should that happen, we will also have along with the jihadists, along with other anti-national forces, the pro-Tamil anti-national forces also joining hands, and that will be a very heavy cocktail to manage for the central government. So what should the central government do? Probably they may have to be very dexterous. It is a very, very difficult task. Dr. Subramanian Swamy has been very vocal in demanding Article 356 and imposition of President's rule, which is one way and probably the right way. Given the state of affairs, there may be law in the state, but the order of the state has definitely gone in for a toss. The constitutional machinery that we are talking about is Article 356, which talks about law and order. There may be law. Today there is no great danger to the law machinery, but the order machinery is definitely the constitutional niceties, the constitutional mechanism, constitutional preferences, hierarchy. They no longer seem to exist. Probably it may be advisable to keep the assembly in suspended animation and wait till Madam Jayalalitha recovers, and in which case we can definitely go ahead and revive the assembly. Else a spell of President's rule is one of the best way forward, because should something untoward happen, the central government will be found responsible in not coming to the rescue of the state, and the state is now at the mercy of the central government.